I'm just playing some Eric Clapton. The story that I wanted to share with you today is a West African tale, and I often save this one for Remembrance Sunday. However, I thought with the time of the year it had a sort of relevance, and it can be enjoyed at any time. There was once a great and powerful hunter who was known all around the local village as very, very respected. He lived in a West African town with his wife, who he loved dearly, and his 7 children, all strapping sons. If they went to war, they would be great soldiers. They were muscular, tough, brave, loyal. Good all-round folk. One day, the hunter went off to hunt, as hunters do. And the sons and the mother waited around the dinner table, wondering what he could be bringing home for them. Which meat, substance it could be. Perhaps a great boar, or a deer, or something crazy like a lion or a tiger. They waited and they waited, but the door never opened and the father didn't return. It soon got to dinner time, and whilst their stomachs rumbled, the father didn't return. Throughout the whole night, the father did not return, and their stomachs went empty. But the mother didn't lose hope. She made sure that all the time one son would be at the dinner table, one son would be at the door, another son would be waiting by the window, and the other sons would get to sleep. But the father didn't return, and he didn't return the next day, and he didn't return the day after that, or the week after that, or the month after that. But the month after that, another situation arose, for the mother was pregnant, and kicking and screaming, another son came into the world. Now, all babies are expected to cry and throw tantrums, but this child was, let's say, a real terror. He would continually throw his food around or break anything that was near him, and all the time he would be screaming, and none of the sons or the mother could get him to calm down. As he grew older, for they couldn't stop the passing of time, no matter how much they tried to calm him down, he would just grow, and every time he grew, a new problem would arise. For when he could walk, he learnt how to kick people. And when he could talk, all he ever said and screamed was, "Where is my father? Where is my father?" The sons and the mother couldn't do anything to calm him, and they couldn't answer his question. Every day and every night, "Where is my father? Where is my father?" Well, eventually the mother couldn't deal with it anymore, and she sent the other children out to look for him. The first son said, "I think I know where he went, a place that he often took me to hunt." And they went out into the woods and to a clearing. The second son noticed in the floor there was broken weapons that had begun to discolour. And the third son noticed that nearby a collection of bones that had clearly been broken apart by some sort of animal. The first son said that he knew how to make those bones back into a body, and it would be respectful if they could put his father back into one piece, for they worked out that this must have been the resting place of their father, that great hunter, the respected man. So they laid down the bones as the first son suggested, and the second son said, I think I can return skin to these bones." And he took some moss and he took some leaves and he began to place it all over the bones. And indeed, as he had suggested, it turned into skin. The third son said, I can take organs from other animals nearby that have perished and return them to this body, our father. And so he did, putting the kidney and the liver and the lungs and the brain and the heart back into the body. The fourth son said, I can get the heart beating again. And he reached down and he squeezed it, and blood was being pumped around the body. As the fifth son said, I can get him standing and return movement to him. And so, with a bit of help from the other sons, they got their father standing upright, and he looked a little bit more like he used to, the colossal man. The sixth son said, I can get all of the senses working again. The eyes, the nose, the mouth, the hear, the ears to listen, the mouth to talk, the nose to smell, the eyes to see, the hands to touch. And so he did so. And the seventh son said, I can get his brain talking to the other parts of the body to make sense of the world. For currently the man was just making some incoherent babble gibberish noise. And so, as the seventh son felt inside that man's brain, the hunter was back. And he immediately demanded to go home, and when he was home he did not speak to the other sons, he purely went for a bath. And it was expected for someone who had returned from the dead, as a sign of respect, to shave their head so that others know that they'd been through this crazy journey. So as the great man bathed and shaved his head, the sons and the mother sat around the dinner table and they talked about how amazing it was he was back. But they also said that they should have a party to celebrate his return and invite all of the village. And so they got to planning it, and then they went to sleep. But the father didn't go to sleep. He went into another room and took out an object, a cow tail used for swatting flies. And he began to embezzle, to put pretty colours on it, and to add accessories, and to make it into a real gift. And he told himself that he would give this gift to the son who had done the most to return him from the dead. The next day came, and the great party happened, and all of the village came. There was fine food and drink, there was dancing and singing and sharing of stories. It was a fine event. But the piece de resistance was the great speech that the hunter was going to give. For everybody knew he had returned from the dead, for he had shaved his head. And they knew that the speech would be talking about what had happened to him. Well, he began to speak, and he mentioned every single one of his sons. For whilst he was in that middle life, between life and death, he knew what the sons were doing. He was watching them, watching over them. And he mentioned that he was going to give this gift to one of the sons. But as he looked at each of them, they began to squabble and argue and said how each of them had done more to return him from the dead. And I wonder whether or not you at home could perhaps think which son is most deserving of this gift, which of them had done the most to return him from the dead. For they each had done a little bit, and each of those bits together had made him come back. Well, he ended his speech by saying, none of you are deserved of this gift. But you, my new baby, my youngest son, you always had hope, for your only words were, "Where is my father? Where is my father?" You will get the cowtail. You will be given this gift, for you never lost hope. And we all know when we are remembered, we are not truly dead. Happy Easter, everybody.